Hello, my name is Shira Uemura. I'm the host of this program, Eyes on Japan.
Hi, my name is German Sa, and I'm the co-host.
First, we have our Japan's new trends corner. This time is the energy issue in the Japanese market.
Energy. With all of Japan's 48 nuclear reactors offline, and the chance that even half will ever come back online, that is doubtful at this time. Japan is now almost wholly dependent on fossil fuel imports. This situation would be highly unsustainable for any country, which must rely for its energy security on other countries, and whose imports must often pass through troubled waters. Japan has several options under consideration to solve this problem. Aside from its large investments in solar and wind energy, Japan is considering 3 other medium to long-term options for its energy dependence.
Do you think 48 nuclear reactors right now offline, so its cost booming up?
Yeah, of course. Right now it's more expensive for Japan to run its power. Its energy sources, fossil fuel is very, very expensive. Therefore, Japan is having huge problems with that. But I think it should be a balance. I think nuclear power it's a source, and Japan has proven that it could be done safely. It took a major natural disaster to have this sort of big accident it had. However, there are other sources of energy, and Japan is looking for it. As we read, it's water resources. The same thing with oil, the reserves, and solar power. Therefore, Japan, it seems that they're looking for other power sources, but at this time it is a problem, and hopefully they can solve it soon.
Today's second part of our SAKURA report on tourism boosting Japanese economy showcases our interview with Ecuador ambassador at his embassy.
We talked to the ambassador for about an hour on various topics, and here are the highlights of what we talked about. VTR, please.
There's nothing you can do that can't be done. Nothing you can sing that can't be sung. Nothing you can say, but you can learn how to play the game. It's easy. There's nothing you can make that can't be made. Nothing you can save that can't be saved. Nothing you can do, but you can learn how to be you in time. It's easy. All you need is love. All you need is love. All you need is love. Love. Love is all you need. All you need is love. All you need is love. All you need is love, love. Love is all you need. There's nothing you can know that isn't known. Nothing you can see that isn't shown. Nowhere you can be that isn't where you're meant to be. It's easy. Like nowhere else, all in one place, so close. All you need is Ecuador. Ecuador is all you need.
Ecuador is a small country in South America on the Pacific Ocean. We are a unique country which no other country in the world has. We are in the middle of the planet, in the equator. We have the ocean on the left, and we have the Andes Mountains, the range of mountains in the middle, and the extraordinary Amazon basin to the west. No, sorry, to the east. So that makes Ecuador a unique country with a unique weather. We have all seasons.
All seasons.
At the same time, year round.
Yes.
So if you can look, whatever you want in Ecuador, you can find it. Very simple. Since we're a small country, everything is close. So it's one of the most extraordinary countries you can find in the planet. In that sense, when you mentioned that there were similarities with Japan, we share the Pacific. That means that, of course, at the same time, we are, as Japan, we are in the same circle of fire, which means that we have volcanoes and earthquakes. In that sense, we are very similar. And we have some similarities. One that's very important for to see how close we can be is the similarity between Mount Fuji
I see.
and the Cotopaxi.
Okay.
They both are perfect cones. The only difference is really between the Cotopaxi and Mount Fuji. Both are volcanoes. Both are active volcanoes.
Active volcano.
Is that Cotopaxi is 6,000 meters high and it's no cape year round.
Oh, I see.
So when the Fuji is, you can see in winter, the Fuji for us is almost at sea in the Cotopaxi. They're prehistoric, they're pre-Columbian cultures. They're around 4,000 to 5,000 years before Christ. So they're very old. But who knows if they were traveling between the Pacific. As I mentioned, as Ecuador has all the weathers of the world,
Yes.
we can produce almost everything. And since we are in the equator, and the sun rays are perpendicular, flowers have better colors. The fruit have better taste. The effect of sunlight that are perpendicular, direct in the vegetation, makes our products
I see.
unique and better. So when we said we have the best roses in the world, we do have the best roses in the world. The color, its size, its aroma. And the same thing with coffee, with chocolate, of course bananas. So that's why Ecuador is, as I mentioned at the beginning, it's so unique. We have such special conditions, geographical conditions. They make us that special country that we are. So we have the best roses, no comparison with anybody else. The best chocolate in the world
I see.
is Ecuadorian. It's so important in Ecuadorian chocolate that we have a special conditions in the World Cocoa Agreement that we don't have quotas to produce because we are unique.
With high quality
Exactly.
cocoa.
Same,
right?
the same happens with coffee.
I
We have
see.
mountain coffee, which as higher you can produce coffee, the coffee is better. And since we have the Andes, and we have valleys in the middle of the mountains, there's where the coffee grows. We have winter,
Yes.
we call the rainy season winter, and we call the dry season, we call summer. That's the only difference. In the rainy season, it rains a little more than on the dry season. But usually in the highlands, the dry season comes from June to October,
June, October. I see.
and the rest of the year it rains. But it doesn't rain too much. Usually in the mountains, rain is very disciplined. It rains usually between 2 and 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
I see. Okay.
And then you have a beautiful rainbow across the mountains and the blue skies and rainbows. Temperatures like today is like spring.
Spring, all the time?
Oh, well, we have all temperatures. If you're in the coastal region, it's tropical. It's hot.
Tropical.
So it's hot. If you're in the Andes, in the valleys within the Andes, the temperature is like spring or autumn, the temperature we have now. If you climb higher, of course, you go to snow-capped mountains, you have freezing temperatures.
Okay.
And if you go to the Amazon basin, it's tropical again. Green banana we used to cook.
A green banana.
Yeah, it's
the big one.
Yeah, and then we use it for cooking.
Do you eat the fish?
Oh yeah, a lot. You see, we have in the coastal region we have the Humboldt Current.
I see.
Humboldt Current is a very cold current that comes from the South Pole. They come very close to the coast of Chile, Ecuador, Chile, Peru, and Ecuador. And when it reaches Ecuador, it turns left towards the Galapagos Island and then goes across the Pacific. So we have in the south of Ecuador a lot of fish of cold, very cold water. But in the north of Ecuador, we have El Niño current, which is which is very hot. So El Niño and El Niño comes here, and
Yes.
Humboldt comes here, and they both turn and go directly to the Galapagos Island. When El Niño goes bigger, it moves
I see.
the Humboldt current, and the world weather changes.
Oil accounts for 40% of the export of
Oh.
oil
Oil.
inside. You have
In the Amazon basin, they are oil fields, and which is very important for Ecuador, of course. Ecuador has been the oil has been one of the most important revenues of the country, and if you can see, the last 10 years with President Correa, I've been 8 years as president, the extraordinary change of Ecuador, the infrastructure has been built. It's come from the oil resources.
oil. I
All
see.
revenues, and we have extraordinary now international roads along the country, airports along the country. Our country, it's a small country where you can go by car or by plane almost to everywhere.
I see.
And then we are rebuilding the train. It was built in the 19th century, and now it's one of the most important tourist attractions of Ecuador. It's going through the train that goes from Quito to the coastal region to Guayaquil. Japan supports a lot of oil. Japan is a very good customer. Now, our business with Japan has been increasing. We, of course, we import electronics, cars, technology, and Japan imports from Ecuador oil, and then bananas, roses, tuna, palmito, broccoli. We are exporting quinoa,
Okay.
Panama hats, which are Ecuadorian hats, really. So we expect the next year we could reach $1 billion in trade between the two countries. Along, I think, from the 60s to now, there's been a lot of films from Japan being shown in Ecuador or in Latin America. So through films and TV programs, we start learning about Japan, the history of Japan, the samurais, and all those things, struggles, and the Japanese
see.
culture. So Japan is well known, not only by cars, for its cars, but for its culture
Culture.
and for its food.
Food.
Yes. There's, in the last 10 years, there have been growing a lot of Japanese restaurants
I
in
see.
Ecuador. So you can find very good sushi or sashimi in Ecuador as you find them here. Japanese people is very polite. They are very polite. So people in Ecuador, they like Japanese as a sense.
I
They're very good. When they're tourists, they are very polite. They're very respectful. So we enjoy having Japanese visiting Ecuador. We have had a very good relations. And our President Correa, visited Japan in 2010.
2010, yes.
And things have been improving, and we are now preparing a very broad program to celebrate the 100 years of our relations on the 2017. It's very ambitious, and we are going to have a very big celebration. We're bringing a lot of Ecuadorian culture to Japan and Japanese culture to Ecuador. So this means how well we are working. And at the same time, in the feelings of our relations with in the last year, with a new approach to Latin America of Prime Minister Abe, comes very close to our view of foreign policy. Prime Minister Abe said in Sao Paulo one special word that will mean what it will be the Japanese policies towards Latin America. He said, we have to work juntos, together.
That's right.
It's different. It's not that Japan will just come to give assistance or to do things as the Japanese way. No. Now we are going to work together.
Together.
And this is exactly what our President Correa, has been saying since he arrived. That we have to have the relations between two countries as equals, and both of them work together and cooperate for the development of their own people and their relations. So that's something that's very important for us. So that's something that we like very much, and we are working with the Japanese government. We hope to start improving, and we're working on this moment to have a new program to bring Ecuadorian students to Japan.
Ecuadorian student.
Not only scholarships that are being granted by the Ecuadorian government, not by the Japanese government, as I used before.
That's
there are Ecuadorian students on scholarship of the Ecuadorian government coming to Japan to study in Japan.
What's your overall impression about Japan?
Oh, Japan is a beautiful country. I visited Japan before, so I knew Japan before I came here. I came here. But Japan is an incredible country. It's impressive, beautiful, and you will never end to learn things on Japan. And I don't think you can ever know Japan completely.
You don't feel like we are losing the energy?
No. Japan is an extraordinary country.
I see.
Has all the technology and organization, and it's powerful. So I don't see any problem in that. Well, Japan has a lot of problems, of course, as any country, and you are dealing with it in the Japanese way. But Japan is one of the most important countries in the world, one of the more important economies, and Japan has a big share on the development of the world. So you should be proud of your country.
Where are you heading as a country?
Well, what we're president and we have said so many times, it's our development of the country for the population in our own way.
Your own way.
Yeah,
I see.
we don't accept impositions. We don't, because we are the only ones who could decide the future of our country. One of the things we said in our constitution is a policy called the policy of buen vivir, the good living.
I see. Okay.
So with a lot of respect to nature, for the environment. So you don't have to be really rich to live well. That's what we think. We are going to share with nature the best way we can build our country and our population on a buen vivir.
How do you compromise with the globalization? 19.
We have to use it. It's something that's not against. It's the way we interpret it. Of course, we have all the technology. We are a globalized country and everything. Of course, we cannot go away or different ways. But within the globalization, what we do is our way.
With the solid sovereignty, right?
Exactly, absolutely clear, and we have been underlining that everywhere. And now Ecuador has been respected because of that. Well, that's a modern system of
very much.
Security of the people. So big cities have big problems, and that's one of the ways everywhere. So we have to use the best technology to create a better society. Having the Andes, the Amazon basin, the Pacific, and in the Pacific, the two currents, El Niño and the Humboldt current, it makes Ecuador a unique country. Are one of the most biodiverse countries in the world. Being in the equator and all this weather, climate, geographical facts, we have most of the largest numbers of birds, insects, reptiles in the world.
Biodiversity, right?
Exactly. We're one of the most largest biodiverse countries in the world. We have one of the largest numbers of orchids. We have the largest number of hummingbirds. There are hummingbirds.
Hummingbirds is like
yeah,
small, right? Yes.
They're big like this, and there are hummingbirds like this.
Oh, I see.
You have hummingbirds in the coastal region in the seashore, and you have hummingbirds at 5,000 meters high. So those type of things are unique. Bird watchers, Ecuador is a paradise for bird watchers. So that's something that the Japanese say. If you want to go to Latin America, and you have only small time to visit, one of the ways best to see almost everything from Latin America is going to Ecuador, because we have almost everything that all other countries have. As the history says that when Charles Darwin went through the Galapagos Island, he started to develop the evolution theory, because
yes.
every island, even though they have the same type of birds, they're different, because everyone adjusted to their environment. So you have pinzón, which is a bird that are only in the Galapagos, and you have big ones, small ones, because each island has its own environment, and the birds adapt to that island. So that's what Darwin was looking for. It's the same bird, but it's different. So they adapt to the environment, so they start building the evolution theory. It was in the Galapagos. And you have beautiful birds. In Galapagos, there are no predators, so all animals are friendly.
That's why, bluefoot booby. Booby means dumb. They're never scared.
No, because being no predators, birds are not scared, because there's no threat to them. And between the Galapagos and the continent is one of the most important mating fields for whales.
Oh, I see. That's great.
And I think in June every year, hundreds, thousands of whales come to Ecuador to mate. And you see them jumping and making love to each other, the huge whales, and you can see them. You go to the sea exactly, and there are tours. They'll take you with it, of course, in the distance, correct distance, and you see hundreds of whales courting each other, male and females, and then mating. It's incredible. We are working on that, because we have to solve certain problems, basically, which is distance and connectivity. So we have better flights to South America. We can improve tourism.
We don't have a direct flight from Japan to
So we have to do it through Europe or through United States. So the only flight to Latin America, direct flight, is one from Tokyo to Mexico.
Tokyo to Mexico.
The only flight is direct. That depends. You see, as we have so many things, it's exactly what they like. If they like tropical forests, if they like bird watching, if they want to see the Galapagos, the whales, or going to the Amazon basin, the jungle is incredible. So you see, no Japanese have idea how incredible is the Amazon jungle. And the only place in South America that you can go very easy by car is from Ecuador. Ecuador is a very safe country. In Latin America, we are one of the most safest countries. There's always things that happen, but that's normal around the world. But if you want to see colonial cities, you got Quito and Cuenca. The most extraordinary churches, gold leaf in size. Their churches are 500 years old, in the middle of the Andes. So whatever they want, that's extraordinary thing that I said. If they want beaches, we have the beautiful beach, warm water, cold water, then rainforests, birds watching, mountains, mountain climbing. Basically, we're a small country, so you can drive around.
Drive a car.
Yeah.
What about the bus
or buses, yes, and
train.
Airports. And we have a train. They are rebuilding the 19th century train. And now already, last year, it won one of the prizes of the best trains, luxury trains in the world. Ecuador has one of the largest public investment.
Yeah,
public investment. The building of infrastructure.
Infrastructure.
We rebuild all roads, and now are very good roads. We are building one of the most complete hydroelectrical system that we, in the next year, Ecuador will be 100% hydroelectric. We're not going to use fossil fuels. So it's going to be a lot of investment of the government, the money, public money into the infrastructure. So that has helped a lot the growth of the country because they give jobs and business and everything. Ecuador has one of the best, now see, we have rebuilt all the educational system. We're one of the best education in Latin America. We are sending thousands of Ecuadorians to study abroad. Education is the most important policy of the government. You cannot grow, you cannot change your country if you cannot educate your people.
Education
So
is a
education
key.
is the key. The first policy, it's number one policy of the government. We're spending a lot of money. We're building new universities. We are in now more than something like already something like 20% of Ecuadorian schools have international baccalaureate.
Yes.
So we are trying to get top-level education all around the country. And that has been a huge investment of the country.
To work together.
Japan has a lot to offer, especially technology, knowledge. And that's what we are addressing to Japan, is to increase our relationship and to transfer of knowledge. That's why we are bringing Ecuadorian students to Japan. And we are asking Japan to send professors to Ecuador and universities in Ecuador so we can have the most important things, the sharing of technology. And that's what we need. And Japan is an extraordinary country in that. We, as according to our policy, we ask the world to respect international law and the banning of use of force in international relations. So we have condemned both sides in Syria and the bombing. We condemn both sides. Nobody has the right to do those things. Every country has to be respected and to solve their problems within their own country without foreign intervention. So in that sense, we share a lot of principles with Japan about peace.
Peace. Yes.
That's something that's very important for Ecuador. We, of course, we agree on the banning of nuclear weapons, which Japan has such a strong position, and non-intervention. We have denounced the intervention of military forces on foreign countries. That's something that we do not accept.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
He talked about many topics, and one major thing I noticed was that he kept inviting Japanese tourists to please visit his country, which matches our theme of Japanese economy being boosted by tourism.
That's right.
Abe's
That's
policy.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So this, I think, it's very good in terms of business.
This is a Cotopaxi volcano in Ecuador. That's Fuji Mountain in Japan. Look like same, isn't it?
Yes.
And the size and also the snow is beautiful and gigantic, dynamic.
Yeah, the ambassador mentioned this point as well. But not only Ecuador and Japan has that similarity of these mountains, they happen to have other similarities as well. The volcano, of course, the music. Later on, we'll have the fact that there was some cultural before that they share the same culture many years ago, over 2,000 years ago. Also, the import-exports of products. There's some similarities between both cultures, although it is so far.
And one more thing, Valdivia culture, which is linked to the Jomon. It's an ancient pottery elaborated by the Japanese Jomon culture. Ecuadorian Valdivia culture is the same. It comes from Pacific Rim civilization. That's what the ambassador explained.
The ambassador explained that there are many products that are brought to Japan. For example, Japan exports to Japan primary products such as banana, fish meals, chips, tuna, flowers. He kept mentioning the fact that the most beautiful roses are grown in Ecuador. Of course, he's boasting about his own country, and cacao, it's original only. Ecuador produces high-quality cacao. It's very interesting how much the exports from Ecuador to Japan and the type of products they bring here. However, Japan also, of course, brings products from Japan to Ecuador, and the numbers are staggering, of course, and automobiles is the
Yes.
top industry, machinery, and many other industrial products. So basically, it has been the fact that Japan exports to Ecuador major already made products, while Ecuador exports into Japan primary products.
That's right.
This other fact was very interesting about Ecuador. This is they are one of the biggest exporters of cocoa beans in the world, and this some numbers we
Number
got
3.
about them. As a matter of fact, yes, they are the third in the world. So it's just something that I guess is very interesting to find out about a country that many people do not know about in Japan.
That's right. And banana is main import products from Ecuador. That's the
Yes.
emphasis.
Usually in Japan, I've noticed there's two kinds of bananas, Philippine bananas and Ecuadorian bananas. I think the Ecuadorians are a bit more expensive, but they seem to be more delicious according to the ambassador. This is another flip, something that the ambassador mentioned about Ecuador as a country that you might have the image of being still developing, but they happen to have lots of science as well. They're ecology loving country. However, they also have the latest in terms of technology. This so-called integral security system is evidence of
Evidence,
how
that's right.
advanced they are, and this is, like you said, there's just part like any other country has the same type of technology available. Yes,
That's
as
great.
we had mentioned in other discussions we have had, tourism is not only boosts the economy of Japanese market, but also of the other countries as well. Therefore, tourism is a big income earner for various places, and Ecuador is no different. And they really, really would like to have, and the ambassador made that point as clear as possible and as many times as he could, that he wanted Japanese people to visit his country. But he also mentioned the fact that it should be reciprocal, that he wanted Ecuadorian culture, he wanted Ecuadorian sort of involvement, that they should share the development of both of them, and they're having some activities. For example, they're bringing with their own budget, they're bringing as many students to learn from Japanese as much as possible. I think this is a boosting of the Japanese economy.
Yes. Look at this. This is my favorite. Alpaca near the base of the Cotopaxi volcano, Ecuador.
So I think this is an example of a country vying for Japanese tourists, vying for Japanese business, and I think it fits our overall theme that tourism, traveling is one way to boost. And Ecuador happens to be very famous also because of the Galapagos, which many people dream to go to eventually. There's a way to do ecotourism, they call it. There's a way to maintain the system, the ecology, to maintain all those beautiful animals and keep them intact. At the same time, have people enjoy the beautiful nature.
Right.
Yeah, this is very good that Japan not only looks at the United States or European countries for major alliances or business alliances, but it also looks to the entire world. And I think it'll be very good for Japan to show its power, to show its care, and eventually become a real good image for Japanese all over the world. That all non-Japanese will become to love Japan, not only for its beautiful, well-made cars, but also for its culture.
Thank you for watching today's Eyes on Japan.
Sayonara.
Sayonara.